The sun, as you can tell, is just behind that house there. Just missed it a few moments ago, but it was just above that house. So I'm curious as to what's causing that. I mean, I'm willing to accept that that's some kind of reflective thing through that bank of cloud there, that it's just, but it's creating like somehow a downward light there. But it does appear to be coming down from above that point. Just kind of strange. I haven't seen that before. It's, 15 degrees away from the sun. The sun is traveling in that direction over the houses. It's almost sunset for us now, 7 p.m. Spain on the Mediterranean. But yeah, I've not seen the Kembo kind of the rainbow effect right there, as though it's being caught up in some kind of, it's got a light above it there. I'll just hold the camera on it for a little while. There's definitely some streaks evident. There's one across there, through there. Don't know how well it comes up. Yeah, I mean, for me, the sun obviously is going over this hill, but if I was down on the beach, I'd still have another hour or half an hour of sunlight or sun. Why is it making that effect over there? I'm going to hazard that it's just simply a reflection in the cloud from the sun, kind of catching some bank there. But you've got to wonder whether there isn't some other illumination occurring locally in that spot. So it's like, if I didn't know that the sun wasn't where it is, I'd think that there was a little light there, a little sun there. It does appear to be downward coming, almost like a crepuscular out of there, but could be that it's simply inside of that body of cloud. There is a track that's allowed the light to come through there at that point. Super bright. Well, that's not something that I've seen at such a remove. Maybe I could argue I have. I don't know. Interesting to see if anyone else can show a similar distance between the setting sun behind there, the going away sun, and that. Yeah, so we've definitely got the telltale wispiness of man-made material here. There's even a shadow line there. I'll zoom it slightly. There's a bit of a shadow being cast from, I assume, a cloud onto that area there. You see that line? So yeah, it's going away sun appears to be leaving a little dot here, a little like hot spot right there. Colorful. And yeah, so the best excuse I can come up with from a sort of, what would a mainstream argument be able for that, would be that there's a lump of cloudy material there that's picking up the light and redirecting it downward. That would be the mainstream story. And without anything else to go on, I have to kind of concede that that's all I see. Well, that would be what would have to be happening, not that there is some other secondary light source like right there. Because if I was just filming this, there's the sun behind that rainbow colored stuff, people might accept that. So yeah, see it. It's kind of, it's bright there, isn't it? And I remind you, the sun is there, going over the hill. So the light, to be fair, there is also streaking center towards the left. Again, suggestive of light tracking from the sun sideways and picking up some density in the cloud and holding it, redirecting it. That horizontally looking line down there is not the sea, that's a cloud bank. The sea level is, zoom back out, lower at this perspective. And this incredible looking rock, head-like looking rock, it's just beneath us, 100 meters, I suppose, down to sea level. Yeah, but wow, that looks a little hot spot there. Eh? Try and watch it for a while and see what happens. It's interesting that even though in 10 minutes of viewing it, maybe 15 before I started filming it, it hasn't actually moved, which obviously, well, to me, the clouds are not moving at the moment, so the clouds are sort of stationary, but the sun is moving at a pace, obviously not 1,000 miles an hour, but it is moving. And so as with any light, as you move the light away from a point through which it is diverging, then that divergent will move, that point will move, and it will quickly, as with the rainbow or anything else, change the angle, and you lose it very fast. So I'm still holding this for some time now, 10 minutes. Sun going away fully, very bright. That's what you'd expect, I suppose. That it would be hard to sell as the full sun, but on a murky day, you might expect to see a light like that. Take a few pics. Okay, a couple of stills there, just to, not that this camera does me, it's not a P900, just a smartphone. Fair, the cameras are pretty incredible given the size of the phone and the vast amount of technology I have at my disposal here. it does appear to be dissipating a bit. It's not maybe as strong as it was. So, it may just be, again, like I was saying, this change of angle is giving it a different coloring. Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm going to be critical of my own observation and say, look how this cloud here is being illuminated quite strongly by the sun. Is it as strongly as that over there? No. Well, that, I suppose, is not as bright as right in there, in the heart of the going away sun. It's not as white as that. Looks to be it's held up that coloration, but yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk. But I have seen talk of a second sun, not as bright, not as big, and if we had to think about why we lived under a culture of climate change and grey skies, sometimes it may be necessary because the two are not perfectly well aligned to blank out the sky so that we don't make this observation too easily. But you'd be forgiven for thinking that was being. It is. That's quite a big hotspot there, isn't it? That whole area now looks like a big hotspot in the cloud. Tell you what, the way that the sun works, I'm not satisfied with any model that I've seen. I have ideas, but I don't know of any model that kind of really addresses that. See how it's illuminating this little blanket of cloud for me, but that wouldn't be possible in the going away, just simply going away for hundreds and hundreds of miles that is now doing that. I think that this sun, it has to be local for me. It has to be local for me. Same with the moon. The moon will illuminate. She's not here yet. Oh, keep an eye out. I don't get to see it she'll come from this side. I don't get to see it until late because obviously she's got to break through this bank, this mountain. Isn't that head stunning? Just incredible. I Fetch, it's called, down near a town called what's the name of the town down there? It'll come to me. This is more interesting. It's still held up, eh? I mean, it's definitely catching its own light. It's definitely being illuminated much more than anything around it. It's almost hot there. You look at that, hey, you compare it to all of this space here. There's nothing. And then there, it's hot. But for me here, it's hot into this cloud right now. But of course, someone else somewhere else won't be experiencing that. And so for this light to be illuminating and heating up just like the moon does, just illuminates the block around me, not the clouds 3 miles from me. It's not doing anything for them, as far as my eye can tell. But my friend down there, he'd say it was fully illuminating the clouds around him. So, yeah, just an anomaly in the cloud. probably write it off as that. I can't claim anything more than that. There's no physical observation of anything like, circular or spherical, illuminating kind of its own, on its own there. I have to accept that this is probably just a an anomaly of a cloud bank being high up and catching a low light from the setting sun, the locally setting sun, which in my case is obviously obscured. I don't get to see the sunset. I get a premature sunset, a late sunrise because of being in a valley. It's common sense, of course. I'm in a wrinkle. I'm not on the flat with unobscured views 20-30 miles into the distance. Anyway, I'll close it there unless something else changes on this viewing. Yes. It's 7:23 p.m. I thought I would just add this beautiful arrival just behind the clouds there. Fully half moon. Almost at the 12 and 6 position. I'll take a picture or two later on and you'll notice that she has rolled like a screw or a clock face from that position clockwise, as I'm in the northern hemisphere, or hemisphere plane, and this is explained by mainstream science and mainstream flat earthers that the moon is simply moving. She's not rolling, that she's actually just simply moving across the screen and therefore appears to be rolling, appears to be doing this turn as she goes away. You can do your own test with that and realize that that's bullshit. The moon is rolling. It's turning like a clock face. It is for times as well, and people in their local area, if they pay attention, will notice that they don't, depending on what line of longitude they're on, they won't see what I will see. Like if they're in Australia or in America, they'll have a completely different arrangement on the clock. They won't get to see it in this arrangement. It's certainly not at this time of day. So there it is. And by the time that it reaches the Americas they're 6 hours behind, so in 6 hours or so, Americans, maybe less because I've only seen this come over the ridge now. I could have seen it an hour or two earlier had I had a better position. But in 6 hours from now, when the Americans take heat, when they look at it, it'll be the same time for them, essentially 7:30 at night. And they will notice that the moon has rolled, I would say, a quarter of that around, so it would probably be at the 9 and 3 position by the time that they see it. That's my prediction, and be interesting if the Americans could, take a view of that. My little hotspot seems to have dissipated completely. I can't claim to be able to see anything. There is special mention. The whole body of cloud is lighting up now, isn't it, really? For me, anyway. And I mean, even that spot there it's not as bright when you zoom in. It's not as bright as that other, I'll zoom in on this and you'll see it's not as bright as the hotspot was. So make of that what you will. And also of this moon observation. Be sure that this idea that the EQ mount is required because it takes out the roll, which is a consequence of the moving from left to right in your field of view. Bullshit. Do it with a plate, half a plate. Bend it. Take a half a plate, a paper plate, bend it in half so that you can create that in your left field, and then move it to your right field and decide for yourself whether that simple movement causes it to roll by 90 degrees, which it will when it moves across my screen here. Alright, not for now. Oh, one more thing. My main channel, Trinity 4, got struck down for 2 weeks. I wasn't talking about the moon, but I'm sure you can work it out for yourself. So I'll be back, but in a few weeks, but on that channel. But second strike, and you know what happened with the last channel. It only took about another 3 or 4 weeks before I got the third. So, and this one I got was on a backdated activism in Wales. So back in the beginning of July or something. Okay. Bye for now.